Welcome to my channel.
The freedom I cherish. Freedom. One word that means a lot of things to a lot of people. Some value economic freedom, others count the freedom to choose as most important. For few, the freedom to express is paramount, while many guard their freedom to be alone. We all have that one freedom we cherish the most, something that defines us. We ask people to weigh in on the freedom that matters the most to them. I take freedom for granted. It is my birthright. Shabheda, writer and columnist. I don't want to think about freedom. I want to live it. Breathe it. Eat it. Taste it. Hear it. Touch it, every moment of my life. If I have to think about freedom, it means it is outside of me, an entity I need to examine. No. Freedom is me. Every bit of me. Every nerve ending and heartbeat is freedom. It is my breath. Do I stop to think about breathing? I just breathe. That is what freedom means to me. No agenda. No definitions. No baggage. I take freedom for granted. It is my birthright. We are all born free. And we must stay free. The only time anybody needs to actively think about freedom is when freedom goes missing. When that happens, all the energy you possess has to be invested in a massive search operation, just as it would be if a beloved goes missing. Freedom is the lover you need to hang on to as if your life depends on it. Well, it does. Freedom is non-negotiable. Forget about breaking it up into convenient compartments and opening up a silly conversation. Forget facile justifications for snatching freedom. Forget transacting and haggling over freedom. Freedom is not sold in a marketplace. There are no price tags attached. No discounts and seasonal sales. Freedom is its own kingdom. No hostages. I hope I am sounding crazy. That's the whole idea. There is far too much at stake. And far too little currency. As a proud Indian, our national flag is the only symbol of freedom and trust we need to respect. It is far bigger than any political party or person. Our Tranga is India's most precious creation. Our freedom is embedded in its three colors. No compromise, no dialogue needed. Jai Hind. If I have to think about freedom, it means it is outside of me, an entity I need to examine. No. Freedom is me. I find it telling that the freedom of a woman has to mean something. Chitarangada Singh, actor. The freedom I cannot live without is to be treated as an equal. I find it telling that the freedom of a woman has to mean something. It must have an end in sight. Often freedom has to be for a greater good. I don't agree with this notion. Actual freedom for all of us lies in something that we should get naturally and not fight for. I don't agree that freedom always has to be for a greater good. Stop accepting mediocrity. Geeta Chandran, classical dancer. The one thing we need freedom from most is our eagerness to accept the mediocre. We need to push for excellence in everything we aspire for. That is what dance teaches us to do, to push the body, mind and soul towards pure excellence. Accepting mediocrity cannot ever be acceptable. Let's excel. Dance teaches us to push the body, mind and soul towards pure excellence. No one can live in constant fear. Yami Gautam, actor. I don't think we can live in a state of constant fear. Fear of being trolled, robbed, facing malice, etc. Breathing free air is no longer enough. We should be given the freedom to live without any kind of apprehension and doubt. That is the true meaning of being free. This, fearlessness, is a state of mind which comes naturally if you are always, consciously on the right path. Breathing free air is no longer enough. We should be given the freedom to live without any kind of apprehension and doubt. I want to be free in spirit and thought. Ishan Khatter, actor. The one freedom that I cannot live without is to be free, in spirit and thought. These are integral to our existence. The moment we owe our thoughts to another person, we become slaves. The thought of it sends shivers down my spine. The thought of owing my thoughts to someone else sends shivers down my spine. I want my freedom to be wrong, imperfect. Jane D'Souza, author, columnist. With every self-help girl or book urging me to become my perfect self, I value the freedom to dig in my heels and say, no. I don't need to. I don't have to get it all right. I'm okay with staying imperfect, impulsive, with going out looking like last season's, or last decade's, fashion faux pas. It's critical to me that I have the freedom to try, to fail, to, sheepishly, admit my mistakes, to howl and then to reboot, reroute. What makes this possible is that a family which allows me the freedom to try the unproven, a new recipe that they will grin and swallow, a new storyline in a book, without a who will ever read that really. Freedom necessitates support, from those I love, who suffer through my decisions that sometimes go belly up. Not always pursuing the 100% guaranteed success route is signing up for a lifetime of not so fine dining and bye-bye business class. I live on the edge of imperfection. I don't claim to have cracked it all. I don't proclaim that my race/religion/politics/point of view is the only sensible one because, in a couple of years, I may eat humble pie, though that may switch from tuna to mushroom, and say I was wrong all along. It is the only way I know to live, but I could be wrong. It's critical to me that I have the freedom to try, to fail, to, sheepishly, admit my mistakes, to howl and then to reboot, reroute. Freedom means being myself. Cautiously ready, dancer. I don't know any other way to be than be myself. Where I can live and express myself as a free bird that flies around without any restrictions and boundaries. Where I can breathe, think and live without fear. I cannot live without expressing myself as a free bird that flies around without any restrictions. I couldn't live without free speech. Shikhatul Sinia, actor. The one freedom that I couldn't live without is free speech. I don't know what we would all do without the right to express our feelings the way we want to. As dutiful citizens, we are all aware that freedom comes with certain responsibilities and we must not flout those. But still, we are all very scared to voice our opinions/feelings. My problem is this: why can't we express ourselves without being labeled? Why can't we express ourselves without being labeled? The freedom to change one's mind and one's heart is paramount for existence. Paro Anand, author. Years ago at a school workshop, we asked students from rural India to build a theme around freedom. As a hook, I gave them a story where a parrot is spending his first night in captivity in the home of an animal-loving family, with many pets. While the parrot cries and rages to get his freedom back, other pets counsel him. Lost and found, the two rescued pups counter that this home is freedom from thirst, hunger, rain and cold and think that freedom for the sake of freedom is meaningless. The rabbit bear, rescued from a lab, concur along the same lines as they have been saved from a certain, painful death and quite happy to live in this safe home. The cat's argument: it's not humans who keep us, we keep them as pets. They feed us, groom us, nurse us. We don't do anything for them really. So we are much freer here than having to scrounge around to make a living. The cockatoo has been bred and buttered in society and has no wish to fly around. But the parrot is horrified and cannot buy any of these arguments. For him, freedom is freedom, cage-free, open skies, even when danger lurks. In short, freedom means different things to different people, at different times. I could say that the freedom to speak my mind, express my views is paramount to me, which certainly is. But if I were starving on the streets or living under terrorist threat or societal pressures, then freedom of expression would not, perhaps, be paramount for my existence. To me, the freedom to change one's mind, one's heart. Those I think could encapsulate all of these. However, from my position of great privilege, I must not lose sight of those who struggle for freedom in a myriad different ways. If I were starving on the streets or living under terrorist threat or societal pressures, freedom of expression would not be paramount to my existence. Freedom means different things to different people, at different times. I'd rather be an underpaid loose cannon than a pampered court poet. Anu Dachuan, writer. I'm not saying I have achieved this particular freedom completely. Let's just say it's the one I aspire to achieve the most. It's liberation from the fear of what people will think. Not just ye dunya, ye samaj, per se, but people with influence or power, and also those with whom I share an emotional bond with. When I first started writing a regular column for a daily, I agonized a bit over speaking out or criticizing, thinking what if this gets me, or my extended family, into hot water professionally, with various political parties, Bollywood camps, marketing heads. But then I decided that I'd just go for it, and say it like I saw it, not because it's noble but because in the long run, it's the easiest, most constructive way to do the job. I guess there has been an opportunity cost for doing things this way, but overall, I'd rather be an underpaid loose cannon than a pampered court poet. I say it like I see it, not because it's noble but because in the long run, it's the easiest thing to do. Without the freedom to make our own decisions, we'd be reduced to AI. Sania Mirza, sportsperson. I would feel claustrophobic if I had no freedom of choice and no freedom to decide. As thinking human beings, the onus of everything, good or bad, should solely rest with us. Everyone is welcome to share thoughts and ideas, but the ultimate decision and choice should only rest with the person making it. If not, we are reduced to AI, artificial intelligence. Everyone is welcome to share thoughts and ideas, but the ultimate decision and choice should only rest with the person making it.